Let's nail down on the military part of this. What can they do beyond Taiwan and making life miserable for the Koreans and things like that? What can they do to us here on the mainland? As an American citizen, I live in rural Texas. What can they do to me, to my friends, to my neighbors? Anything? Nothing? Everything?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, particularly when it comes to China, I would not. Their military is geared towards regional threats. Their military is geared towards attacks within Asia, within what they call the island chains, first, second, third island chains, all the way up to Guam, maybe hit Hawaii if there was an actual World War III scenario that kicks off. Which, by the way, if you look at the way things are going with the United States right now, we're escalating into a hot kinetic war in Ukraine while we're also escalating in the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait. So maybe, but more directly, I think what you'd be looking at is, number one, they're going to be spying on you. We saw that, of course, with last week, and I took a lot of incoming for saying this, that I think that balloon was clearly looking at cell phone signals as well as all sorts of personal signals. The State Department later came out and confirmed that. But you're also looking at cyber attack. Jesse, you understand that their cyber capabilities are such, they understand they're not going to defeat the United States in an open war, so they don't want to fight it that way. What if all of a sudden you can't, because all of our lives are so connected to any type of cyber system, your banking, your car, your GPS. Imagine all of that goes down for every American at the same time. And I'm not just talking about Twitter goes down. I'm talking about all of the ways that we run our lives. You can't even make it to the next town. You can't even, trucks don't know how to go where they're going. Everything breaks down overnight. Banking completely breaks down. That is exactly the threat that I would see from the Chinese Communist Party when it comes to this. As far as a direct threat, the long-term threats, of course, the transfer of wealth, and if another one of their bio experiments decides to escape from a lab, we might have to deal with that again.
Jack, why would they be collecting cell phone signals? Whose cell phone signals? Look, I'm stupid, I understand, so you need to explain this to me. What does China gain by collecting my cell phone signal? I'm on the phone with my father. What do they gain by that? I know it's something, but what?
Well, for you, maybe not so much anything, but of course, maybe they are looking at you in terms of they're looking at patterns of behavior within American society. So if they say, hey, here's a guy, he hosts a show, he's talking to government leaders, he's talking to influential people inside the United States, they're mapping out power networks, they're mapping out influence networks. When it comes to bases, they're going to say, who runs the base? Who runs who are the guards? Where are the guards working with? What are these trucks that go in and out? Oh, that's the food delivery. What company does the food delivery? Who works for them? What are the logistics? What are the supply runs that go back and forth? What's the frequency? How do you get in and out? What are the codes that we use for all of these things that we put on our basic, and we saw this in the Navy, by the way, how they could look at our fire control, they could look at our Aegis, our early warning radars, but what about signals that we send to power the lights, to run the engine, to just have basic electricity throughout the ship? Are those systems as safe as the ones that we use to run our weapon systems? Not exactly, but guess what? If we don't have the security controls on them, then what happens to your ship if all of a sudden you can't drive it across the ocean? What if you get stuck somewhere? What if you can't turn your engine on? You've just neutralized that as well. So they've really been investing heavily in these cyber programs, and it doesn't surprise me at all that their surveillance would have kicked up to another notch where they're sucking up these types of signals.
Support the First TV today and get instant access to exclusive specials like Who is Ron DeSantis, the history of FBI scandals, and America's worst presidents. Visit thefirsttv.com/support or download the First TV app to become a supporter and start watching today.